Yeah, and like when you're building the team, you always want to be careful of what your team sees you do and what your team doesn't see you do, right? Because I said it the other day, right? So my diamond upline, he's still striving for perfection, right? It's not a prerequisite for a diamond to be perfect. And it's very true, right? You're always striving for improvement. And personal development is like a journey, right? It's a journey that you never arrive at the destination of because you can always improve. Nobody's perfect, okay? So with that in mind, when you're building the team, you don't want them to see any of the incorrect things that you're still doing, that you're still working on and should be working on, right? But you want them to see everything correct that you do, okay? Because they're gonna replicate, the saying is that they'll replicate 200% of the things you do wrong and bad and that are like not correct, and they'll learn those habits, and they'll replicate about 15% of the things you do right, you know? So that's just kind of how it goes. So your role in being able to like kind of mitigate that is by not letting them see it, right? Because you recognize their bad habits and you're working on them. But in the meantime, you kind of need to shelter them from what you know is a bad habit. Does that make sense? So yeah, so some last thoughts are just like, eventually you won't even have to like put in your time, right? You won't have to put in any effort and your income won't just like stay the same. It'll get bigger because people will be duplicating your time that you put into them in the same way that you put into them into other people, right? So your income isn't just going to stay the same without effort or time from you. It's going to get bigger and it's going to continue to grow, and eventually it'll grow at an exponentially faster rate, right? And when you are getting new people into the business, the first 30 days is always critical, right? Because that's when they're deciding whether or not this is for them, right? So it's important to get them early success and to build the relationship which keeps them invested from the beginning, right? Because you don't want them to get like, I don't know, like 2 weeks in and they've had like little to no contact with you or anyone in your team, right? You need to start fostering that relationship early so that they're emotionally invested through a friendship, and you need to build the dream so that they're selfishly emotionally invested in their future, right? So yeah, that's everything, guys. Have a good night.